Angelo's been dismissed as a complainer in some circles, but he was a student of the films, and the films don't lie. He did not like what he saw from studying the films of Joe Frazier's earlier fights. What he saw was a persistent pattern of headbutts and low blows. You can see Bonavina complaining to the referee, but in those days, they would just tell you, you ain't defenseless, are you? And that would just encourage retaliation, which never makes for a good fight. I'm telling you though, studying the films now, Angelo was not seeing things. There was a pattern of fouls that had just been allowed. When Joe squared up to throw that left hook, it was a fearsome thing, and the opponents tried all sorts of moves to get away from it. But the most common thing was to turn away and expose their left side. And so he would punch them in the back, in the hip, in the kidney, anywhere. None of those were fair blows.
Frazier only knows one way to fight, and that's to bore in. He's going to be in real trouble. Frazier with a little head work.
Could this fight possibly live up to the hype? You hope, you wish the fight of the century would be about the tactics that each side had prepared and who could execute them under the bright lights and the stress. And you don't want it to be marred by fouling. Angelo had already faced Joe Frazier with Jimmy Ellis and had him pretty well scouted. And he felt he was a type of modified two-stepper and that he could be timed. 1, 2. And he had a fight plan. He wanted him to time that little hitch in Frazier's step. And he wanted him to push him off in the clinch and spin away from the left hook. And this is the work they've been doing in the gym, trying to prepare for this, getting him down on a lower crouch and moving his head erratically. And Joe was coming with an almost superhuman drive.
A heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier. He's wearing red trunks. He weighs 215, undefeated in 31 bouts, scoring 25 knockouts. Here is Muhammad Ali.
The plan was to make the fight early and rush Ali and carry him along at too fast a pace so that his legs would
bobbing and
go.
weaving all the time. And he's dangerous. His best punch, the left hook. Two undefeated fighters. This fight so far ranks with the great ones.
Round 3.
It's amazing that Frazier can stand up under that battering. And he is scoring himself. Good 1-2. And
Ali was also dealing out a serious beating over the first 5 rounds, but how long could he maintain this pace? Basically, if Joe Frazier felt disrespect, he didn't care about the rules.
I think he's trying to psych him out, don't you?
Well, it sure looks that way. I mean, this is a Joe Frazier who's apparently kept a lot of anger against Muhammad Ali in his heart.
As the fight wore on, as much as Angelo had feared, Ali was getting head-butted and punched in the kidney and the side and the hip. He was expending a lot of energy in the clinches, just trying to keep Joe's head off of him. And then came round 6.
Here is round 6, and this is the round Muhammad Ali said he would win in. Round 6, the round.
That left hook at the beginning of the 6th round would have ended any normal fight. And looking back on it, it was the turning point in this fight. After that punch, the snap was gone in Ali's punches, and all he could do was retreat to the ropes and take shots. The first thing to go in a fighter is his legs. And when that happens, they go to the ropes to try to lean on them. You know, the old guys gained a perspective on boxing from seeing hundreds and hundreds of fighters and what their fates were. They used to talk about 1,000 days, just shy of 3 years, that most fighters were at the top of their game or could fight at a championship level. There are exceptions to every rule, and there are fighters we still talk about today that were on top for 3,000 days, but it's not the norm. It took the entire remainder of round 6 for Ali to try to get over that punch he took. Eddie figured the clock was running out on Ali's legs, but he was so determined and such a great champion in his own right that just the pace or just the left hook was not going to stop him. He was going to need to be worn down and have his legs taken away from him. And, you know, the goal was to try to make him quit, which has never happened with Ali. With no snap in his punches left and no spring in his legs, he was doomed to go backwards into the ropes and take shots from Joe Frazier. And the pace didn't let up, and as we end the 7th round, you know, things were just looking bad. And we've just reached the halfway point, and the whole affair has taken on the air of a ritual bloodletting. And you can hear the audience become hushed, and like everybody's watching Ali's sacrifice. We always have to remember to stop and go back and ask why. Let's go back and look at Angelo's fight plan again. He wanted him to time the 2-step and snap a jab, and he wanted him to push him off the clinches and keep him at distance, and then outmaneuver him at distance. Keep off the ropes and keep turning Frazier to his right so that he cannot get up in your chest.
Frazier getting closer to the ex-champion.
With the snap gone from his jab and his legs nowhere in evidence, Ali couldn't hold Frazier off. Predictably, the more punishment Ali took, the less he could move. He had success timing the 2-step. Ali's almost total inability to spin out or to turn Frazier was really a big part of the story of the fight, because without doing that, he went straight back in the ropes and then just took tremendous punishment. This was not the fight of the century that boxing fans had hoped to see. All those hours in the gym were paying off because Joe was proven to be hard to hit. Having survived the 8th round somehow, Ali would only fight in brief spurts from here on out.
Left in the 15th round to score a knockout.
A lot of the talking that Ali's doing to Frazier is about the headbutts.
In return.
Come on, man.
Frazier trying to get that guard down. Ali covering up on the ropes. That was a wicked punch. So was that.
Eddie Futz said that Ali conned Frazier right there and Probably the fight should have been over, but he conned him and gained 3 or 4 seconds and his head cleared.
I think Muhammad Ali is in real trouble now. Judging by his looks, he's throwing out wild right hands.
They are both taking tremendous punishment, and the pace is punishing. It's still the 9th round, and all of a sudden, Ali turns it around, and everything is on. It's the fight of the century again.
And Muhammad Ali comes back. He's got a great reserve. Frazier was hurt there.
What a fight, what a pace. I've never seen a pace like this. Archie, have you ever seen a faster type of fight than this?
No, never, never. This is a beautiful thing.
Frazier grunting as he comes in with those punches. Frazier is putting everything into his punches. And now Ali looks tired again, but that could be deceitful.
A clash of heads, imagine that.
Another great round, and another good round, incidentally, for Ali.
At this point, Joe Frazier is actively wondering what in the hell is holding Ali up. He talked about it for years. He just couldn't understand. He said he tried to kill him. He hit him with everything. This night would be a big part of the making of the legend of Muhammad Ali. Next time we'll talk about the last 5 rounds and then the aftermath of this fight. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the professor.